Sit right there. Get y'all fixed up in y'all car seat. I'm kind of sleepy. I'm kind of sleepy. Okay. Hello. Hello. What's good in the hood? Y'all come on in. I'm gonna wait for a minute because it seems like they don't be sending out my notifications to my regulars, people that I normally talk to. Even though you can always go back and watch the replay, but I'm gonna probably go ahead and get started because I got a to-do list, but a lot of stuff to do. With a to-do list with a lot of stuff. I know my to-do list look crazy, don't it? But I just jot down stuff on it as I think of it while I'm at home. That way, when I come into the Alice's, I can make all the phone calls I need to make, um, take care of some business while I'm here at the Alice's. So, I want to start off by saying um, the procedure that I had on Friday for my fistula here. The Hey Brianna, how are you? So the surgery that I had on Friday, it was only like a 45-minute procedure. And what they did was they went in, like y'all sitting right there. Let me sit y'all up. So they went in and put a balloon in my vein. They went in and put a balloon in my fistula to expand the vein so that they can do the next procedure, which happens to be scheduled for um, the 7th of April. So that is where I am with that. And also, I want to say that I think most of you all probably already know, I already explained this access um, point right here that they use for dialysis is only supposed to be temporary. And let me know, put one in the chat if you can hear me good. I'm not trying to talk too loud. So it's only supposed to be temporary. But now I am in like support groups where people say that they had their temp calf for like months and that they don't want a fistula. And sometimes I can sympathize with them because not everybody, not everybody, you know, want a fistula because it's nothing pretty about it at all. Hello, the outdoor boys. How are you? What is this? What is this? A monkey? What do that mean? Because he did the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out what is that emoji about. Um, Elaborate on that for me. Yeah, tell me what that emoji is about. So I hope y'all not cricket. Okay, let me fish y'all up. Okay, that might be better. So here's the thing. Like I said, this is supposed to be temporary, and the purpose of them doing this procedure is to get my vein ready to have this process done here. Okay, so like I said, my next procedure is next Tuesday. So let me tell y'all what happened when I got to the hospital. What was that? Friday morning. So when I got back there to get undressed to get prepared for the doctor to come in, the lady was like, um, take your clothes off, everything you have on, take it off, and I'm gonna get ready to shave you. And I'm like, huh? Shave me for what? So she was like, well, they have a on here that you're getting uh, a, a CV or something, whatever. What she said was, I was aware of. And then she said something about angioplasty. And I was like, huh? What's that? You know, what I know about an angioplasty has to do with the heart. So I'm like, wait a minute, what y'all got going on? What y'all trying to say? Um, y'all, gonna do that. He said to me about that. So she called up to the nurse's station and the lady was like, well, that was just tentative if he felt like he had to, but they're not gonna do it. And I was like, I know they ain't. So as another nurse came in and I asked her about it and she told me angioplasty do use that term when it comes to, the heart and situations with the heart. She said, but in this case, angioplasty means him going in, putting a balloon in the vein and opening it up so that he can do the surgery that he has to do next week. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, that sounds better now. He said that to me, but he didn't use the word angioplasty because, baby, baby, I'm trying to fool around with no angioplasty. No, ma'am. Like I said, that sounds like something y'all finna do to my heart. And then she talking about shaving me for the process. Why you got to open up a vein down now and you're trying to get right here? I'm like, see, these folk about crazy. I'm glad I'm coherent and know what's going on because they've been on mess around and did something that was highly unnecessary. You feel me? So, okay, so after that, I was his third patient. So I always like to be the first person that the doctor cut on. I just like to be the first person that the doctor cut on that morning because look, go ahead get me out the way. I don't care if I gotta be there at 6 o'clock, baby. I need to be the first person. But I end up being like the third person. And if you're the third person, if he running behind in any kind of way, it's gonna start around the third person. So we waited. Me and my son, they let my son come back there with me. So we did wait. It was supposed to start at 11, but it didn't start until 12:15. So it wasn't a big deal. It's not like I was uncomfortable. I have been in situations where I had a procedure done and waiting your turn to go back to the back, that can drive you crazy if you in pain. The surgery has anything to do with correcting your pain or anything like that. That will drive you crazy. But in this case, I was good. I wasn't um I wasn't anxious about nothing or feeling uncomfortable about nothing. So once I got back to the back to the operating room, um and y'all look, let me say this. Anybody listen to this once you hear the replay, let me tell y'all something. I don't know whether or not I don't got addicted or what, but am I the only one just be like ready for that knockout medicine? Baby, I love me some knockout medicine. I'd be like, come on with it. Come with the stuff. Baby, I don't know why. I guess it might not be a good thing. It may not be something I want to admit, but baby, I'd be like, come on, knock me out. Countdown: nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two, one. Know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just like that be so much where I be looking forward to it. I really do. So she told me, well, it'll be like a twilight drug. You may be still awake. And I said to myself, I said, no, I don't want to be awake. I don't want to feel nothing, hear nothing, smell nothing. I need to be out. But she said that what they did was they numbed the area, and I really didn't feel nothing there. They numbed the area. I didn't feel anything there. But she gave me my little cocktail, right? So when she gave it to me, I look. She gave it to. She said, "I just gave it to you." I was like, "Okay." So you know me, I'm ready. I'm like a kid in the goddamn candy store. I'm ready like a mug. Man, I'm ready like a mug. So after I waited like 10, 9, 8, I'm like, wait a minute now, this thing, I ain't feel woozy or nothing. I was like, wait a minute now. So I waited. I was trying to be patient. I ain't really want to, act like no deep monster. But I'm like, wait a minute now. So I told her, I was like, what was that you gave me? So she told me what it was. I was like, I don't know about that. Y'all might need to try something else. Because I'm still wide awake. I'm still, I told her I was anxious. I said, I'm still anxious and worried about this procedure. So, so the doctor was like, you think you need some more? I'm like, hell yeah, I need some more. You think I don't? So he gave me a little bit more. So it did its job. I ain't gonna say I was just knocked out. I heard them and what they was doing, and I was kind of you know dozed off, but not really out. So by the time I listened to what they were saying and what they was doing, and I was even talking to them, asking them questions about the space that he needs to do the next surgery and everything. And next thing I know, it was over. It was over. So I waited probably about 30 minutes in um, the little prep room. I went back to the same little area that I was in before the procedure. Went back to that area, and then I had to wait like 30 minutes. They brought me a turkey sandwich and a fruit cup, and I had some water. So I went on, polished that off, and by then I was ready to put my clothes on. We was ready to hit it. Me and my son had to be at work, so we was ready to go after that. But I just want to explain the differences between having a fistula. I mean, the fistula process. Now, you can, and the reason why it's taking me like three different procedures to get this fistula the way it should be. First of all, they are using my veins, which shocked me because I know I have tiny veins, sleepy veins. I don't know what be going on with my veins, but they just don't be acting right sometimes. So since they're using my veins, it's a little bit more to, getting this thing ready. Now, on the flip side of that, there's something called a graft. Now, they can put a graft in, and it don't take no time for that to um that it don't take no time for that to mature. If you get a graft put in, most of the time they give you a graft if your veins are not good. And I know the doctor explained to me, the vascular surgeon explained to me, that first they check to see how good your veins are because they prefer to, in younger people, they prefer to use your own veins. So that's what they did with me. Now the graft, it's okay, but it doesn't last as long as it as your fistula does. It has to be replaced more often than them giving you the fistula. So but baby, honestly and truly, that graph sound good when it comes to all these different goddamn procedures, in which that leads me to all these different bills that I am accumulating for these surgeries. So when I first came here and they was doing the dialysis through my temporary calf. I don't know whether or not I told y'all, and if you've been following me, you know that I said I had to go get another one because the machine kept beeping. I didn't even have to, if I breathed the wrong way, it would make the machine beep. So they realized that my catheter that they put in at the hospital, it was too low. It was too low. So they sent me to uh, out outpatient medical office to have another catheter put in. So I'm like, okay, you know, and then I get a bill. Now my insurance pay 80% of the bill, but they send me a bill for 20%. Where my copay is like 20% of the bill. And I'm like, $195? That wasn't my fault. The catheter wasn't in the right place. Where they do that at? So I talked to the social worker about it once before, but it looked like I'm gonna have to go above her head and talk to another social worker because her hands are tied. I think it's only so much she can do. But if they can't find me some type of solution to this issue, I'm gonna have to call my legal team and give them the information and let them handle it because you know y- I don't feel like I should have to pay for that. And then another thing is when I have these procedures, like the first procedure when I went to Piedmont, they said, you know how they call you and get you prepared for surgery, and they let you know by the end of the call, you be waiting on this because you know they're gonna ask for some money. So they said that I owed my portion was $280. How do you want to pay it? And I'm saying to myself, I'm on disability. I'm retired on disability. Where I'm on a fixed income. Where do y'all think I can just pull $280 out my wallet just like that? You know. So I told the lady, I said, well, I'm gonna need to because like I said, the first time, the very first procedure, and they asked me for the $280. I told her I couldn't afford to pay it. So she gave me a financial assistance application, and she told me when I get the bill that on my to-do list what I need to do today too. When I get the bill, I can um, call them and submit it in then. So when I got the bill, I want to say they were asking me for $280, but when I got the bill of what my portion was, it was only $95. So I'm like, wait a minute, what y'all, if I would have paid y'all $280, were y'all gonna give me my $90 back? I mean, if I would have paid $280 and then once the services is done, were y'all gonna give me my money back? I don't think so. So I still had the financial assistance application, and I said, I know what I'm gonna do. When she asked me, when I, check in, you know how you check in, and they ask you for your, not your insurance, but you just check in when you get to the hospital. So when I did all that, and she came to that part where she thought I was about to give her $280. I was like, no, I have this financial hardship application. Um, and I had the lady card who I need to turn it into because I was actually at Piedmont Rockdale gave me the application. But this procedure and the next procedure is going to be done at Piedmont, Atlanta. So she said, I can scan it in and put it in your file. I said, okay, thank you. So I'm waiting to hear back about that. But yeah, I told her, I said, I don't have that kind of money, you know. And, some people may be listening and saying, um, I know somebody asked me, did I have an advantage plan? Yes, I have an advantage plan. But they don't pay those 20% copays that they expect for you to pay, So um Dwight, y'all got some more Rice Krispies back there?
Rice who?
Them Rice Krispies they had when they did that
It would be on the table in the break room.
oh, okay.
I
Uh,
got to them bad boys.
oh yeah,
I got
yeah.
to them bad boys.
Yeah. I know they weren't gonna last
They
long.
good. They good though.
They were good. I don't
I
even
feel like
really
they
eat
said
them
what you
like
got
that.
them. I feel what you got them.
I mean, they sell them in the store. I mean,
No, what brand was it though? It
they
depends on
was
the brand.
in the little
Brands
blue.
make a difference.
Yeah, they was the Rice Krispies. Um, Kellogg's.
Kellogg's,
Yeah.
it's not Crackle Pop.
Yeah. Mhm.
Man, Crackle Pop, right?
Mhm.
That's about some old guys. Oh, I'm telling my age.
Yeah.
I'm showing my age.
So yep. So see, this is the thing. When you work and put money into Social Security. And see, I've been working since I was 13. So they feel like because my income is a certain amount monthly that I should be able to pay this 20% of everything, you know. Hey, Church, how you doing? They feel like I should be able to pay 20% of all this stuff, but that's just not necessarily true. Just because I put so much money into Social Security, you know, I still gotta live. So what y'all want me to do? Live and pay these hospital bills? You know, I'm great, girl. You good? Yeah. So I was just explaining the fistula procedure that I had done Friday and what happens next. So you want to go back and listen to it? Yeah. So as for that particular bill, like I said, I gave her the financial assistance application, and I'm gonna of course keep following up on it because I really need for that one application because it's a Peak Mount Hospital application for financial assistance. I'm hoping that that one will cover any outstanding bills that I have with them, and because I don't be wanting them to be calling me or sending that stuff to my house. I just need for all that stuff to be taken care of. So, and then the first thing they say is, "Well, you can apply for Medicaid." I'm like, "No, I don't qualify for Medicaid. Just because I don't qualify for Medicaid, don't mean that I should be able to pay these outrageous, you know, different procedures costs." So yeah, so that's the craziest thing in the world. Yeah, you told me, Trey, I ain't forget. I remember when you told me your dad was on dialysis. Did he I was telling them about the difference between, when you do get your fistula, um, the difference between like being a tubing of what they call it, thing. Difference between using your own veins, and that's why I have to have one last surgery, hopefully one last procedure to get this area ready. But I was telling them the difference between using your vein or a graft. See, if I would have got a graft, it would have been ready in probably like look 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, because I was listening to somebody say um, that I was listening to the what's her name? I don't like to say names on here, but I was listening to her say that she had a procedure, I think Friday also, and they took her port out, and I was like, oh, okay, so they getting ready to use her fistula already. Oh, he had a graft. Okay, yeah. So when she said they took her port out, I was like, oh, she must got a graft. So yeah, that's just seemed like that's probably so easy. But my vascular surgeon told me that if they can use your veins, they prefer to use that you use your own veins. So yeah, so but she said it grabbed. Did he have to have it replaced um during his time on dialysis? Did he have to end up getting another one? Or how did he do with the graft? Yeah, if I would have got a graft, then I would be ready, already ready for them to use it. Yeah. So that's the deal with the the fistula and the graft, and like I said, I gotta have one more procedure, and I hope it's the last one. Oh, I hope it's the last one. But what else I said I was gonna mention to you? Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Anybody have any comments, or concerns? Let's see. And then, they do have grants that you can apply for while you're on dialysis. The clinic here has a application process for you to apply for money. Hey, Mark, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. Just on here explaining, my process, what happened. Don't forget to listen to the replay. Yes, several times it would get clogged, and they would have to clean it out, but was able to use. Okay, yeah, okay. Fancy free 10. Hey, are y'all just getting the notifications? That's why I was kind of taking my time while I was talking, but because it seemed like my notifications go out everywhere, but to the sector that I'm in. So that's why I was kind of taking my time trying to explain the process. But yeah. So as far as yeah, the graph, like I said, I would have loved to have the graph so I can go ahead and start, and they can take this thing right here out. But I already showed y'all. I took the blood into tube, and that's the machine right there. You don't feel anything. It don't hurt. And based on your body and your physical condition is what matters when it comes to how you feel. You know. So I normally feel pretty good when I leave here. I don't schedule to do anything, but I normally feel pretty good. Yeah. So unless they taking off too much fluid off your body, sometimes you can cramp. Once you start cramping, when I start cramping, I just say no, stop pulling, because I don't like that feeling. That's why I try not to be overweight. My dry weight is 75 or 76. When I came here today, I was 78. 78.4. So what we have to do when we come in here, we have to weigh ourselves first. And once you weigh yourself, and once you come over to your chair, um, I think the most I've ever had on was probably like 2.9. I never got to 3, but I know yesterday I did have an iced coffee. Once my dad became total renal failure, he was automatically placed on Medicare. Although he still had Kaiser, he never had a bill. They paid 20%. Mm. So did you say he had a job? Okay, he had Kaiser. Yeah, it's a little bit different with Kaiser. Maybe Kaiser paid that 20%. Yeah. So, yeah, what I was saying was you come in, you weigh yourself, and they put in the machine what your weight is, and then they let you know, well, you have 1.9 on, you think you can handle, let us take 1.9 off. Um, 2 is too much for me. I gotta stop back bringing my pickle juice because pickle juice helps you a lot when you're sitting on the machine and the machine is pulling. So it's like the um. Oh wow! I hope I'm not slurring my speech because I am about sleepy. That's what it is. That's what it is. Medicare. I am on Medicare, and but like I said, based on the fact that I don't qualify for Medicaid, they think that I should be able to afford that 20%. I've been going through this for a minute now, but when I first got sick, so that's the issue with that. Yeah, so I am on Medicare. So I was saying something about yeah, once you come in and the machine just works to take the extra fluid off of you. So when you get ready to leave, you have to weigh yourself again. And hopefully the machine took off all the extra fluid, food, a little bit of everything that you had on. So it's not like a miracle working machine. And I would hate to see, I would hate, ugh, like I said, I can't take it past 1.9. And there's situations where I hear people where they have to take off like 3 and 4. Oh, I couldn't even imagine them pulling 4. What is it? What is it called when you pull you pulling the fluid off
Officer,
the what?
officer,
Okay. He said, yeah, see, he said a big word. But it's like, I can't imagine coming in here almost 4 or 5 pounds over, well, really over your fluid weight. And they have to pull that stuff off of you. And it's like, Trey, chime in. Tell me how much was your daddy? How much was he a heavy fluid intaker? Tell me, what was the highest he would get? Was he a small frame man, a big frame man? How did that work out for him? If you're still in here, because that's a lot. That's a lot. I can, and then I heard somebody say that they have to go extra days. You got to go extra days, which not it. I don't understand. I mean, every state is different. Every clinic is different. But these chairs are booked. It's like even the days that I don't come, I come Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I don't even people talk about extra days, um, staying longer. It's just far fetched. See, when I hear that, you need a whole another extra day. That just means that you just don't care what you do when it comes to your diet. You just drinking what you want to drink as much as you want to drink, and you're not urinating. So why would you keep doing it to your body though? Cause see, this machine, although I don't feel it, and I say I don't feel it, and I feel pretty good when I leave here. To have this machine overwork your body just because you can't put the plate down or the cup away is just not a good thing. Mom monitored dad's liquid intake closely. She used kitty cups, right, for drinking. She gave him ice chips a lot. He was not heavy set out. Okay, yeah. So it's like, you know, that's the way you wanna live your life, and that's how you don't care about your dialysis setup, where you keep being overweight, where you got to do extra treatments. Like I said, I hadn't heard the doctors saying about no extra treatments. Just period. I don't hear that around here. So I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I guess anything is possible, but I wouldn't want that. I think after a while, it's really gonna, cause wear and tear on all of our bodies. You know, Just Venus. Hey, Just Venus. I love your hairstyle. Have you used any specific product? Um, I just cut my hair over here, so this is new. It's still growing on me. Um, I just get I mean tip press. I just get a silk press, and then I'm getting hot now. My battery in my fan, I gotta charge my fan. You got to follow the list of foods closely. Right, it make a big difference. You gotta be real careful what you eat. No dairy. My fan stopped working, y'all. Oh, okay. It might not stay on long. Do I get? I tell you, turn the heat down. This machine make you hot too. It feels so good. Yeah, I get a silk press. It lasts about 3 weeks. You too, Just Venus. Thanks for coming in. Hit the like button, please. So yeah, so that's that, and I want to make sure I cover everything. Yeah, and like I said, anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always leave it in the comments. You turn the heat down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm taking your blood pressure now.
Yeah, you can always leave it in the comments. Mm. Yeah. So, like I said, I got my to-do list right here. I always have a bunch of stuff to do when I come dialysis. I don't know what it is these people be taking, but these people be knocked out. See, I gotta charge it. I don't think I charged it since I had it, but these people be knocked out. I think I went to sleep, tried it 2 or 3 times, um, and I'm a little sleepy now, but I'm also hot, so that ain't gonna work. So I ain't gonna hold y'all long, cause y'all know I'm be having anything to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and get y'all off of here. And like I said, if you're watching the replay and you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, just leave me a comment. Thank you, Trey Trey, for coming in. Everybody else have a wonderful day. Make it a wonderful day. All right? Peace.